Alright, let's just go ahead and get started. How's that sound? Apologies for the weird time and the lack of much of announcements ahead of time. We were playing a very fun game. We were solving other mysteries, doing other things. Your fault? It's fine. Blame June. No, it's fine. If we have to move... Okay, the only thing is, if we have to move my streams on Saturday to be a little bit later, and we just have our game sessions, like maybe even like an hour earlier, and as long as we don't go too long, I'm fine. I can still stream on Saturday. We're good. It's not like last week where we did 8 hours. We went till 9 o'clock at night my time. But it's fine, we had fun. That's all that matters. I think Caden's character maybe not likes me. I think she's starting to learn to tolerate me. I don't think she likes me. I think that's taking it too far. Oh, hi Maya. Thank you for the posture. Hydrate, will do. Ooh? Oh, no, I have to do it like him. Ooh. She doesn't know that. Caden said that. Her character did not say that. Her character just thinks she is cursed. She thinks that she is cursed. She doesn't know that I got her cursed. To be fair, I don't know that I got her cursed. Information that our characters do not have. Shh. Anyways, where were we? Did you miss a thing? Me and Kay and a couple others, including Caden, have been. Kay's been GMing actually some murder mysteries in a game called Savage Worlds, and my character is not liked by Caden's character because they're very different. But she's warming up to my character a little bit, and and that makes me happy. It's funny. Anyways, what are we doing here? Not a streaming thing, not a streaming thing. But a very fun thing. I'm just gonna read all this in his voice because I don't remember quite what happened. Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Okay, in my defense, I had the impulsive hindrance, and my second defense, we didn't know about the rats. Only the hurricane. And there was a barn, and I wasn't trying to burn the whole house down. But, you know, I didn't think it through. Someone else was at the scene at the time they say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside. That's why. And the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes. You don't have to be so rude. Oh right, I forgot we're in the ruined courtroom. Well, that's nothing more than conjecture. It is hardly the only possibility. In that case, what do you think Prosecutor Blackwell had in that case? I think it was the moon rock.
Objection!
There were 3 cases at the scene, but Prosecutor Blackwell used the largest one. The moon rock was egg-shaped and only about 8 inches in diameter. It wouldn't have made any sense to use the largest case there just to move that rock.
Objection!
Be that as it may, it doesn't prove Miss Sykes was inside. Then let me ask you this. Egg, can you come up with a better theory of what was in the case? That's not my job. That's your job as the prosecutor to prove that she was in there. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Or reasonable doubt, not shadow. Reasonable. Well, Mr. Wright, can you? Yikes. Give a guy some time to think. Oh, let's see. Should I try to bluff my way through what could have been in that case? maybe we don't bluff right now. I know that's your... I guess I'd better wait and see how it goes. I know that bluffing's your thing. It's a clever theory, but it doesn't look like they have any solid proof. If I push, maybe I can uncover some flaws in it.
Hold it!
So, Prosecutor Blackwell willingly accepted a death sentence to protect someone else? Yes, that is precisely what Miss Blackwell appears to believe, sister. And that is what I believe as well. Prosecutor Blackwell is no murderer, Mr. Wright. But Athena Sykes certainly didn't kill anyone either, Mr. Edgeworth. So it appears neither of us can afford to go easy on the other. Fine, I expected no less. Oh, I remember this tense atmosphere. It's so invigorating. There's so much sexual tension. You can cut it with a knife. What was that, sir? I believe he said there was sexual tension. Are you sure about that? Well, if there wasn't, then why did I bring Miss Von Karma's whip? I don't think that's for the courtroom. Yeah, sure. I believe the sexual tension here is fine. You can keep that stuff in the bedroom. Thank you. I'm only reading notes here, but yeah. I feel extra invigorated too, so let's keep going. Someone else. Okay. But that's just speculation. No, Miss Blackwell has proper grounds for her claims.
Objection!
Then why didn't you say so in the first place?
Objection!
Why did I keep You're the one who screamed, "Hold it!" and cut me off. Fine, so maybe I jumped the gun by a teeny-weeny bit. Now I know what they mean when they say close enough to argue. Moving on. Can you find out what actually happened, even though it's not your job? While you're at it, fix us all dinner and fix my car, otherwise you will lose this case, and yes, that is every Ace Attorney game ever. It does remind me of that one, there's a comic out there, an Ace Attorney comic out there, where it's Athena and the judge, and Athena's just like, and that's exactly why my client can't be guilty, your honor. And it's just like, that is very solid. So is he not guilty? Well, then who did it? What? That's not my job. Well, someone needs to go to jail. What? Case failed.
Hold it!
This rolling case. I suppose you mean the one that existed in the photo with Prosecutor Blackwell in it, but was absent when the crime scene photos were taken? Yes, that's the one. And Miss Blackwell has drawn a conclusion from these two photos. She has? And what is that conclusion? You're the one with her notes. Oh, right. Of course! Reading them now. So, why the broom case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside.
Hold it!
And how do you propose he had a person inside one of those cases? Have you forgotten that we saw just such a thing only the other day? At your own daughter's magic show, she fit a grown person into a small box. Oh yeah! Way to ruin the memory of a good day. I love the implication there that Edgeworth just goes to her magic show sometimes. I was like, Dad's got to support his daughter. No, not Phoenix, the other dad. A magic show. I wish you would have thought to invite me. Actually, I would have liked to go too. My apologies. I'll invite you both next time. I promise. So, wait a minute. What were we talking about again? Prosecutor Blackwell was using the case to hide someone. And they only put... Okay. So... we've pressed everything. Except that we haven't... There's technically only one thing we haven't done in terms of pressing, and that's bluff our way over here. We haven't bluffed this yet.
Objection!
Because I don't think we actually have the evidence to disprove anything that he said. Let me see. Yeah, currently speaking... Yeah, not currently, we don't. So, let's bluff. I know exactly what Prosecutor Blackwell carried from that scene. I just had to find something else that was missing, right? No sweat. Oh wait, I know what was missing. Hold on. The arm. The arm was missing. It's not here. Oh, I'd be very interested in hearing your theory. If it's true, that is. This is a crime scene photo taken after Prosecutor Blackwell left, correct? All we do is compare this with this photo of Prosecutor Blackwell to see what's missing. If he took something with him, then it should be in one of these photos. Lady Luck, don't fail me now. Alright then, Mr. Wright, let us hear your theory. What did Prosecutor Blackwell take from the scene of the murder? Nope. Please notice that there's a robot part on top of the card in this photo. However, in this photo taken after the crime, the robot part is gone. In other words, this part is something that was taken from the scene of the crime. You do appear to be right. I don't see it in the second picture. But it's just a piece of junk. How important could it be? Do you not see the blood on it? Do you not see how that there's blood on a sharp end on the end of it? Is it really just an insignificant robot part? Speaking of which... What are you looking at? Wait, no, this isn't... This is Aura. What are you looking at? I'm gonna start charging for each glance, per eyeball. Stingy. What happened to the age of free previews? And also, that's not even your real body. Your Honor, about this robot part. Doesn't it look like it could be an arm from that robot there? Well, now that you mention it, it does, doesn't it? But the case is still too big to be practical for that moonrock and robot arm. But was it really just the one arm that was in there? If it wasn't Athena in the case, then maybe... I believe there was another robot at the scene that looks just like the one here. Your Honor, it is the defense's assertion that it was this other robot that was in the case. What? What? I'm freaking out here. We can't be certain that part belonged to a robot. Yes, it looks like the arm of the one before us, but it could be something else entirely. Incorrect. Where is it? There it is. There she be. Besides, it's wrapped entirely in bandaging, making it difficult to verify what it is. I know for a fact that it's a robot arm. I can even tell which robot it belonged to, just by looking at it. With this information, we can investigate whether it was there at the time or not. But Mr. Wright, I thought you were more of the technologically illiterate type. Excuse me, I'm so illiterate of that type of stuff that I can't even say the word. When did you become such an expert? I feel somehow abandoned. Not to worry, Your Honor. I still know next to nothing about machines. I know this piece of evidence proves which robot the arm belonged to. But the robot in this picture is named Ponko. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. How adorable! That's so cute of a little child. What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild. The robot arm of the crime scene had the same bandaging wrapped around it. In other words, this robot arm could belong to none other than Ponko. Order in the court, order, I say. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you have to say to this? I can see that the robot is about the same size as a child, but it cannot grab its knees and curl itself up into a ball. Even if it was the largest of the cases, the robot couldn't have possibly fit in there. The case does come up to about mid-thigh on Prosecutor Blackwell. I see your point. The robot is much taller than that. Well, they've got me there. So then, did Prosecutor Blackwell make Ponko fit in the case by... Of course Ponko would fit. All Prosecutor Blackwell had to do was dismantle her. Once taken apart, the robot could have easily fit inside that rolling case. It appears to be a robot assembly device. To assemble anything in a flash, push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Nick? Sit down, Nick, and I'll push it, and I'll push the button. It sounds rather violent, but Mr. Wright does have a point there.
Objection!
Except that there was a body on the table where robots all dismantled and assembled. Except there's no blood on the table. There would have been no room to take the robot apart.
Objection!
But what if it wasn't done on the table? What if the katana was used instead? You mean the sword? Yes, Your Honor. Miss Blackwell, I'd like your opinion as a woman of science. Isn't it true that the katana could have been used to take the robot apart? I suppose so. Their joints aren't made of very tough material. A blade could slice through them. Thank you for your expert opinion, Miss Blackwell. Thanks to you, we now know that the existence of the severed arm in this photo proves that Ponko was taken apart. In addition, since the rest of Ponko was not found in the scene, we can conclude that the true meaning of this photo is very different from the original interpretation. You can't mean. It's exactly what I mean. This photo does not capture the moment of the murder. It is instead a picture of the moment after the robot was sliced apart. The blood you see where the arm was cut off was transferred there by the bloody katana. Most likely the rest of Ponko is scattered around Prosecutor Blackwell's feet. Not hearing this. I'm not hearing this. Therefore, what was transported inside that case was not the defendant, but a robot. Miss Sykes never was at the scene at the time of the murder. My head, my body. Where am I? Order in the court. It's true that Ponko was found in pieces after the murder, and I'll admit I repaired her myself afterwards. Yes, I'm finally making some progress. Hopefully I've gotten at least one step closer to proving both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell innocent. Uh-oh, I don't like the music stopped. Well played, Mr. Wright. You've made your point abundantly clear. I can see that it wasn't the defendant inside the rolling case, but the robot. Oh, right! What's going on here? It's never good when he plays things this straight. Does the prosecution withdraw its claims that the defendant was carried from the scene? No, Your Honor, my claim hasn't changed.
Objection!
But Ponko and Miss Sykes couldn't have both been inside that
Objection!
case. The notion that the case was used to carry Miss Sykes was Miss Blackwell's theory. I have been of a different opinion from the outset. I just haven't announced it or said anything. Now I finally have the opportunity to voice my theory. Thanks to the defense. Edgeworth, he's been one step ahead of me this whole time, just like he always is, because... fuck. In that case, how do you propose the defendant left the crime scene? Simple. Simple. The footage only shows Prosecutor Blackwell from behind. What's more, he's holding his arm in front of his body, as if he were holding something, or someone. That's hardly evidence. I have proof. The surcoat Professor Blackwell was wearing. The victim's blood was found on the front of it, and the stain had a highly distinctive shape. A blood stain with a distinctive shape? Please continue, Prosecutor Edgeworth. 7 years ago, the defendant was known to constantly wear such an item, of which there is only one in the world. A special pair of headphones made just for her. She always wore those big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. And now she showed the bloodstain to be in the exact same shape as these headphones. In other words, this was no mere blood splatter. The blood went from the victim's body to the headphones and then was imprinted on the Prosecutor Blackwell's coat like a stamp. A most gruesome stamp indeed. Blackwell carried Miss Sykes, who had been hit by splatter, away from the crime scene. This proves that Athena Sykes was, without question, present at the crime scene. And that concludes the prosecution's argument. Uh-oh. We might be in just a little bit of trouble. But also, that technically still doesn't prove anything. She could just have blood on her. Doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who did the killing. Order! If the defendant was indeed at the scene, it deepens the suspicion against this 11-year-old girl.
Objection!
But we've also shown that the robot was there at the scene as well. I hope you're not making the ridiculous claim that a simple robot was the real murderer. You don't know that it wasn't. I don't really think that, no, but you can't say the possibility isn't there. Detective Fulbright, was the robot questioned at the time? No, I don't see any record of it, but I believe it was considered unrelated to the case. But as it turned out, the robot was actually integrally related. It was indeed related. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Ponko to the stand. A robot witness? Why, that's unprecedented. Order in the court. We have had some incredible witnesses on this stand, including a parrot. But I don't believe we have ever, and even someone talking over multiple phones and wiretaps and blah blah blah, but never have we had a robot. Professor Edgeworth, Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you think about this? Mr. Wright has called all manner of witnesses to the stand over the years, so why not a robot? Nothing surprises me anymore with him. Very well, I will allow the witness. Bailiff, please summon the robot named Ponko. I can't believe these words just came out of my mouth. I don't even know what half of them mean. Hey, Ponko. A witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is not Witness. My name is Ponko. Yes, I realize that, but when you are at the witness stand, you are the witness. No, I'm not. I'm Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko. What an utterly inflexible little robot. You're the last person who should be calling anybody inflexible. You'll remind me of my grandchild who just learned his own name. Oh, how precious. Alright, Ponko, I'm going to ask you some questions. Questions? You have questions? Hooray! What are your questions? I want to know if you were there at the scene of the murder of Metis Sykes. It was 7 years ago, on the 7th of October, around 2 p.m. in the robotics lab. Certainly! Just one moment. Searching data. Search complete. Yes, I was there in the robotics lab. You're so adorable. It would seem this robot's testimony is necessary to this case after all. This is great! I just knew Ponko must have seen something important. A murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes. It's inexcusable! The defendant was 11! She was 11 at the time! She also witnessed the murder! Anyways, the judge seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild, to be fair. Same. So, little Ponko, do you think you can give us your testimony today? I love this robot. I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. Uh-oh. I don't know if that helps us. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room, and Mr. Simon came in. Okay, hold on. Let me think. I'm gonna give my own theories. Athena came in and hugged Metis. After that, and then Metis fell down. But that explains how the blood got on Athena. But just hugging her doesn't. But like, if the murder weapon was a sword, Ponko didn't mention a sword. Didn't mention Athena had a weapon. Didn't mention anything. Just said hugged her. Probably because, Mommy, no, don't die. And then an error occurred. There is no data after that point. Well, it sounds like the defendant was, without question, at the scene. However, it doesn't appear that a witness saw the actual moment of the murder. I disagree. This testimony shows that the defendant did indeed commit the crime. No, it didn't! Damn it, Edgeworth! What? At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that the witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited. So what are you suggesting? The witness's statement needs to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child. They don't, but... Yes, what this witness's statements are telling us is... that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon during this moment. Okay. You're saying... But it still sounds fucking ridiculous when you imagine an 11-year-old girl with a katana coming up and stabbing her... and a robot interprets it as a hug. I don't... What? Hey, Ponko, can you, play videotape? Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse? Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised. Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued. I see. Murder after a heated argument. And then the victim fell down. She's 11. I agree that it does sound like a reasonable interpretation if she weren't 11! How many times do I have to say this? Hi, Delphi. I'm getting mad because they keep talking fucking... What do you... Okay. The motive they actually have. The motive is unfortunately something they have. Because Athena was... Hi, Delphi. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Basically, the motive that they've pinned down is Athena was used as a guinea pig or a research subject by her mom her entire childhood. Now, we, specifically, do not necessarily know what that entails or how she actually felt about that. The only flashback we have is her kind of looking sad. We don't necessarily know if she was actually upset with it or not, or whether or not her mom loved her, or blah, 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 blah. Although we can assume that her mom did love her, I think we've had some of that. But regardless, that's the motive, is Athena was tired of being a guinea pig and being researched on, and so she just snapped at 11 years old. However, Ponko doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that. Candy using only 2 letters? I mean, the second one would be a D, but I don't know how to put the can there. And? I don't know how to do it! You can't! It's impossible! CY? Candy using only 2 letters. I am going to lose my mind. God damn it, Oka. Thank you for the joke. It took me a second. When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory. You may as well admit defeat now, right? A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless. Until now. Think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time. Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination. I see you haven't changed. You never were one to worry about wasting time. Very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright. I'm not worried about wasting time because I'm always right. Almost always. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. Can I not lie? I don't know. Can I? You don't know. I went to the robotics lab about 2 minutes with my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy. Okay, let's press this. Let's start here. I hugged her, huh? Which Ezra took to mean stabbed her with a weapon. You said the two of them were talking before Miss Sykes hugged her mother. Is that right? Yes, they were talking very loudly, but I couldn't tell what they were saying. Couldn't tell? Even though they were speaking so loudly? I'm only allowed to listen to voices that are directed at me. If I listened to every voice, it would be little better than a mobile eavesdropper. Well, that explains why some of Ponko's testimony is so vague. It's a shame that our little friend wasn't listening in, however. We could have learned what they were talking about just before Dr. Sykes was killed. And then, what happened after that? I feel like I want more clarification. Were they holding anything? Were they holding anything? Did anything come out? And what happened after she fell down? I don't want to delve too deeply here, but... Could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment? Mommy Metis was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound. Her heart? Oh, Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? These robots have a heartbeat detection system. Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute. That means if Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment. Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat? Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then. All the unlucky timing. If you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder. I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry. The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing. Call it the hugging. The alleged stabbing. Ugh, stop calling it that! After Mommy Metz's heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room. She fell over there. There! She fell here. She fell here. She fell over here, next to the recharging station. In other words, I was right. She was not killed on the goddamn table. The workbench, huh? Uncle must be talking about that table to the right where the giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Ponko's statement just now? Your Honor, I believe the statement is critical. I'd like it added to her testimony. Very well. Ponko, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl. Who's a good little girl? Yes, you are.
Objection!
Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough. I was helpful. Hooray! I'm so happy. Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table. But the operating table and the workbench are two different locations. And no 11-year-old little girl is going to be able to pick up this big old mama, and put her on that table perfectly so. She also would have no reason to. Exactly, Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult. So the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Ponko observed near the workbench couldn't possibly have been the moment of the murder. Hands in front of my body, slightly far apart. Aliens. Whew, I'm very relieved to hear that. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of little Ponko here. What about in front of little Athena? Hello? Does no one care about little tiny baby Athena? There's screaming going on outside. Come here, Biscuit. Hey, buddy. I want you away from the screaming. It doesn't sound pleasant. Into my lap. Come on. Up. Up, up. Up, up, up. Almost. What? Hi, Biscuit. Everyone say hello to Biscuit. Biscuit is now in the lap. Biscuit is here for stream. As we just heard in the testimony, Miss Sykes hugged her mother. Nothing more. Everyone saying hello to Biscuit. Right. Hold on, let me look at her autopsy. Instant death due to a stab wound of the heart. In other words, Athena did not kill her mother. Or at least not in that moment. It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever. Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. White in anything but a blue suit. Hey, blue's my favorite color. And this attack the table. Please. Hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say? If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she could have had it moved for her. Oh, okay. Moved for her. But Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there. That was on my end. I had to restart my audio driver real fast. Or my voice meter. I agree. Since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. Then who do you suggest moved the body? Don't you know it's in the nature of a robot to help people do things? Miss Ponko, allow me to ask you a question. My name is Ponko! Say it with me. Ponko! I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table? Yes, I did. Athena asked me to. Athena asked you to? Uh-oh. And what did you move, little Ponko? I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is. An ID tag, you say? Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scan them to tell us what a thing is. That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag. Shit, I feel like this is a bad thing for us, because she's not wearing her jacket ID tag right here. Well, that's not great. Shoot. Well, doo-doo. That is not helpful in our current situation. So it would appear that Miss Ponko here can't identify what it moved. My name is Ponko! But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? We do? Well, I do, at the very least. Miss Ponko, on the defendant's command, move the body onto the operating table. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. Ponko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? It's really important. Isn't there any way you could tell? I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell. Give it up, right. If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot's detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it draped over a chair on the robotics lab. And only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object. Biscuit, don't do it.
Objection!
Ponko was equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means... Are they? Let me see. Oh, wait, no. There it is. Can also recognize a person by facial features once the face has been registered. And her face is not covered. Ah, shoot. The mask. There's a mask in there. Shit.
Objection!
A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With the facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell it was Dr. Sykes. But why would 11-year-old girl, why or how would she thought a robot would fucking heal with bandages? Why on earth would she know that it couldn't tell them apart unless they had their faces and blah blah blah, all this other stuff? To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and was stained in blood. Like, I feel like my logic is kind of overpowering here. Order! But if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? Wonderful question. I love this question. You want a reason? Very well. What? You can't possibly have an explanation. Your emotions blind you to the truth. You can learn a lot from our robot friends. I don't know, we also have a lot of emotions. Calm and rational thoughts will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table's one special feature? I believe I read that robots can be assembled and disassembled there. Isn't that right? Oh, that's right. And to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, the table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds. But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if ever... That fucking God! She didn't put her on the table to get rid of her. She put her on the table to heal her. To heal her. She wanted to fix her mom, not to hurt her. Leaving so horribly of this child. Biscuit, get off that. Get off. Nope. Okay. That is something I need to fix. Biscuit, your claws are so sharp. Biscuit. Don't make me take you out of this room. I'll do it. You know I will. No, I love you. We're doing something right now. We can play later. Biscuit. Alright, pickup time. Biscuit, this is my chair. Now I gotta trim the baby. But the baby won't let me trim him. Too wiggly and bitey. And I'm too scared of hurting him. Here, you can stay. Luckily, we're going to the vet on Monday, so I can ask them to trim him and also to help me learn how to trim him properly. Yeah, no, this is... She was trying to fix her mom, not to get rid of her. It looks just like magic to me, what she could do. You can't possibly be suggesting... This young sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. Oh wait, then heal the same way? What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminded me of my own grandchild. No way! I refuse to believe it! Ow. That's good. Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. As she thought if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace. Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can. With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table...
Hold it!
No! Don't say another word! Just stop! Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime. You are putting a lot on an 11-year-old girl right now. That can't be! That can't be true! I'm not gonna scream all that. That's a lot. That's some fucked up logic there, Edgeworth. Look, Edgeworth, you're sleeping on the couch tonight. What do you mean it's your apartment? Order! Order in the court! Order in the court, I say! Edgeworth, she was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing? Horrible? Like I said, you're just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth. No more, no less. My theory is simply a result of a rational consideration of every possibility. Clearly not every.
Objection!
But dismantling it on the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter either way. What do you mean? After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it had never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation. But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant, and the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts that indicate the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged. This just can't be true! Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution? Yes, I do. It's called the goddamn autopsy report, you motherfucking bitch. You always be like, updated autopsy report. Fuck you. Here's the autopsy report. It says instant death. Fuck you. I'm gonna beat your ass. Where's my ass beating stick? Someone get me one. If I don't already have one, I need one. Evidence. Right. Let's see. I can't think of any. I can. Let me take out the evidence. I'm afraid I don't have any. I have evidence. I don't want to say. Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that the truth isn't always pretty. Now accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your subordinate murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough. What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counter-argument, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Edward's argument seems solid enough, but there's no way Athena could have ever done anything like that. What do I do? There has to be something, but I can't think of a single thing. Apollo, was that you? Blackwell? Prosecutor Blackwell? This is quite the farce you're conducting here. I could die from laughter. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on an entirely false premise. Go on, we're listening. Could this be the miracle I need? But what is Prosecutor Blackwell trying to pull here? 7 years. For 7 long years. This case has been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor, and don't think you can alter that fact now. Your baldness, I will take to the stand, and I won't take no for an answer. Of course, Prosecutor Blackwell. Please, go ahead. I have evidence. 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 Let me use my goddamn evidence. Okay, I need to collect more evidence in our Savage World games, so I can just pull it out with an objection at some point. I have notes! I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes, but when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was. But little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words...
Objection!
I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened. Which would be... She fell means she fell, merely that. A mother and child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either, of course, meaning she must have left the room. So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony? You should hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
Then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with robots on the operating table to amuse herself, and she always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying, even now, to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we could bring the dark age of the law to a close today?
Objection!
You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Also, dark age of the law, falsely accused an 11-year-old child? Absolutely. Yeah, no. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down to hell? Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over. Are you saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder? That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I may miss the ferry across the Styx. Don't you dare, Judge. Don't forget I have hostages over here. And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her? Miss Blackwell. Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agree to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackwell, you selfish... Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict. Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like it did 7 years ago? I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him. No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I can't let this happen. But I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. I mean, we do have the sword thing, but... Who now? Whose turn is it? Is it Athena's turn? Athena! There you are. How's it going, girl? Athena, are you feeling okay? I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something. If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here. Her power might be just the thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Sykes, Dono. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent. Objection! These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me, you know. Excuse me. Bye, Bees. Thank you for the 23 months. We're almost at 2 years. Thank you. I appreciate it. I need to fix my avatar immediately. Hello? Woo? Wait, no, hold on. I have to do it like Blackwell. Ooh, woo. That's how he would do it, right? Nya, like, you know, nya. That felt incredibly cursed. On a scale of 1 to 10, how cursed was that? Any of that? What are you talking about? Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial? 9! It was a 9! Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in the courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try. Feeling so helpless. Boy, that's a mood. Caught in people's stares, so scared that it feels like your chest is in a vice. Terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of that door even now. And yet, you found a way to keep your fears at bay and became a lawyer. Thanks. That's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all of my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
But Miss Sykes, do you realize what it would mean? You are the accused, after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackwell innocent, then...
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. The chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to face the truth. Athena's being so brave, confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackwell, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago. Fine. But your efforts will surely be in vain, for I am not a man who can be cut down easily. Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart! Why does that sound like a line that a magical girl says? A music-based magical girl would say something like that to purify villains. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. Anger? But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. Why are you so happy about this, sir?
Got it.
This feeling of happiness. Even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that. Wow, that cut a lot of the noise. Just now you said that you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead? I had no intention of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first. It was just a part of my plan. Nothing contradictory about that. The second I find an inconsistency, he cuts it down. Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto. I was afraid of that. We'll just have to keep chipping away at him then, bit by bit. Could you update his testimony, Athena? You got it, boss. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. When I found Athena in the robotics lab, I was relieved. But I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. Why are you happy? And when she did, I plunged the katana in. Even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackwell. What? When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had lain in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances. He can't be talking about that, can he? I was just a convenient subject for her research.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments.
My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject. What? I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill. So that's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe. Mr. Wright? How are you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there? I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now, take a look at this. The noise level actually increased. That's new. We've never seen that before. It went up. Never seen it do that before. Prosecutor Blackwell is lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's piling lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claim sound more believable. He's trying even harder to suppress his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise. Hi, Biscuit. Can you please not lie on that headphone wire? Belly rub. Don't bite me, please. Belly rub. Belly rub. Belly rub. Oh wait, did I read that last sentence? And he's trying even harder, and that's what's causing the noise. How in the world should I approach this? An evidence-based approach might work if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look for an inconsistency in his emotions. There are no flaws in my testimony, and his baldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on the lost cause, and let the law free me of these chains already. You free yourself from those chains every other day.
Objection!
Hi, Biscuit. Hi, baby. Hi, buddy. I know I'm not playing with you right now. I want to play with you soon. But I wanted to stream first, okay? Belly scritches. Belly scritches. I don't think so. Not while I'm around. Not while I'm around. Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions. What should I tackle first? What do we have for... What should we tackle first? How about that, Ow! Biscuit. Rude. 7-year-old video. Biscuit, stop attacking the wire. That's not your feather. That's not your toy. Your toy's over there. Hi there, buddy. Are you just gonna stare at me? Come here. Get the fishy. Get the fishy. I know you like biting on it because it's covered in your... Were you drooling on this or were you just biting it? Do cats drool in their sleep? This is a question I never thought I'd ask. I never thought to have answered. They do? Interesting. I learned something new today. Okay, let's look for inconsistent emotions. Got it, boss. But if you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over. I heard crying from next door. Of course I was worried. Okay. I hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab. But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor.
Got it!
Hi, Biscuit. When we view your emotions alongside your testimony... wait a minute. There really isn't anything strange here. I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Right Biscuit. I think maybe you're right. Biscuit, do you have to lay right on top of my headphone wires? There must be an unexpected emotion here somewhere. Okay, so he's anger and surprise. That makes sense. Sadness and anger. Yeah, that makes sense. Surprise! Biscuit! Ow! 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 Alright, that's enough. Out of the room. Ow. 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 I'm fine. I'm fine. He's just been very... I don't know what it is. He's been a little bit bitey this week. Like, not enough to, like, puncture. But he's so bitey. Not always. Sometimes he's very cuddly. Well, odd. How did you register surprise at opening the door to the lab? Alright, fine. I'll explain if I must. What surprised me was... Ponko. That toy figure attacked me. Dr. Sykes knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena. But she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sykes had Ponko do it? That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with that katana that was there in the lab. Except for the fact that we know you did that after she died because of the blood. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade. Mr. Wright, it's happening again. There's even more noise now. I know what to do here. It's at 100% now. What's going on here? Whenever we find an opening, he covers it up with lies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate. It's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp and strong as a katana. Alright, what should I tackle first this time? I think there might be an inconsistency in Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. Alright, let's give it a thorough check then. Just then, Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting it into pieces.
Objection!
No, you didn't. Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. Take a look at this photo.
That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it?
How many more times must I see that which damned me for my sin? Ironic thing is, I think this picture is actually going to be your savior now. See the bloodstain at the end of Ponko's arm where it was severed with the katana?
I hope you aren't claiming it's the robot's blood, Mr. Wright.
I mean, maybe. Could be oil. Could be fluid. Fuel. Something. Red coolant. Red Kool-Aid. No, most likely the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana.
The katana already had blood on it, so then it must have been the victim's blood.
That's right, but if that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency. You said in your testimony that you cut up Ponko and then you killed Dr. Sykes. But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture.
What? But that couldn't be.
Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackwell, your entire testimony is nothing but one giant ball of lies. Ugh. Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackwell, now. You have no idea what you're doing. His voice, there's so much discord. I'm hearing not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something. Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave. Prosecutor Blackwell, you're on the witness stand. You're obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom? All these complex emotions, they seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings. That terrible scene. Curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I had no choice but to kill my mentor. We need to, what? What was it that he saw? Do you think that he actually found... Do you think that he actually came in and found the dead Dr. Sykes there on the table with Athena crying and Ponko nearby? The root cause of all these emotions is this! I'm actually not getting any particularly big reading there, Mr. Wright. That's not it then. Oops, maybe not. It could have caused Blackwell to react with all these emotions all at once. I thought that my theory was nice and sound. Oh, it was Athena. What happened to Athena? When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, Prosecutor? You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it. Prosecutor Blackwell, Miss Sykes is innocent. I will always believe that with all my heart. Now, can't you find it within yourself to believe in me too? Athena is innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true, Right, Dono?
I give you my word. Now tell me what you really saw when you opened that door. Curse you, Phoenix Wright.
What did he see? What was it there? How horrible was it?
It was a tragedy, one I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead. She was lying on the operating table while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That right there? That's fucked up. I still think that she was trying to save her mom. But Jesus Christ, that's fucked up for an 11-year-old kid to have to go through.
She smiled with a far-off look in her eyes as she sweetly said,
I don't. This is. Look. This is gonna haunt me tonight. This is going right into my nightmares. This right here. This is a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. What do you guys think? You think this is. This is a lot. I'm gonna see this in the mirror tonight. Oh God. Like I was about to say something like, "Oh yeah, I've played Danganronpa. This is nothing," but like this is like actual blood color. This is fine. That being said, it's kind of badass, but also she's 11. I feel really bad. Want to? No, this is fine. Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her. I think at this point she's already fully traumatized. Like, saying that kind of shit will fuck her up.
"That's what I saw. And now you have it. The truth that you so desperately wanted."
That doesn't prove that she killed her. It doesn't prove that she killed her. It just proves that she was really traumatized. That's an image that will haunt me the rest of my days. Wasn't that fun? Aren't we all really happy that we saw that? Isn't that wonderful?
No. Prosecutor Blackwell finally tells the truth, and this is what it is? It's beyond devastating.
I tried to take my mother apart? I... No! No! Stop! No! I think that she needs to go lie down. So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother.
Athena! As I said, right? The truth isn't always pretty. Murder, disassembly on an operating table, a scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast suspicions on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner? Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all her heart.
She loved me?
Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain, so she worked tirelessly on her research.
I knew it! I knew it! The headphones were to stop sound, not to increase.
Do you remember those headphones you hated so much? Yes, my head hurt every time I wore them. No, Athena, it's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of people around you. Your power was much stronger than it is now, and those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life. No, that can't be true. Then why? Why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much? Her love for you was real, that I can guarantee. That's why I knew. That what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it. So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know. Ponko was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Ponko away to the boarding lounge trash chute, and I hid the case on the Space Center grounds.
It would seem that we now have all of the facts of this case. I don't think we have all of them. We're still missing kind of, I don't know, a super crucial moment in time where she died.
Hold it!
No, not yet. It can't end like this.
Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back on things that disagree with you?
I'm not. But this... I can't give up now. I have to say something, anything, even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. Where did the defense is prepared to present evidence? You make a good question. Because there's no... Well, because the rock's there. In the crime scene photo. We don't know where it is now. But also, I still have the evidence of instant death. Fuck you.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Athena?
It's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake.
Athena, what are you saying?
I killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But can I please be granted just one chance to tell everyone what I recall?
It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. Or what say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the court give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess? Very well. Then if you would please take the stand, Miss Sykes.
You didn't fucking do it. Is there anyone else who could have done it? I don't know. As far as I'm aware, no. Like, that's kind of the problem. Is the only people who could have maybe done it are this motherfucker and this hottie motherfucker. Or herself. She very well, here's the thing, she very well could have done it herself. It very well could have been suicide. Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright, and Prosecutor Blackwell for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end.
Athena! Prosecutor Blackwell will be cleared, and the dark age of the law can come to the end. It was right all along? Jeez. Yes, admit your guilt and bring everything to its conclusion.
I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hand, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Your Honor, please, find me guilty.
I dare say, these are all memories that no one but the murderer would have. I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument?
Objection!
Of course I do! Always. I do, Your Honor. Let me look through her again, see if there's anything... I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. The warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle. As it flowed down the handle, stabbing in deep. There ain't no fucking blood on this handle. There ain't a drop of fucking blood on this handle. Athena, I think your memory's all fucked up.
Mr. Wright?
But, Mr. Wright, why? I killed her. I remember it now. Any counter-argument now is pointless.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer.
Objection!
Objection. I said that you never changed, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth. Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul. That's right, the Magatama! Repressed memories. I did a little research. I looked into those special cyclocks you mentioned, Mr. Nick. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself. There's still a chance, somewhere deep in Athena's heart. There might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. It might be like looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos, but still, that memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence.
I hope for everyone's sake that you are not just bluffing, Mr. Wright. Now then, is there or is there not a problem with Miss Sykes' confession?
There is. Oh. We're using our memory? We're not actually interesting. Oh, okay, it's not actually letting me present at the moment. Fuck me. There's definitely something wrong with her memory of the event. I can just tell.
If there is a problem with the confession, please prove it to this court now.
Take that!
Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright?
I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor. But I remember it! I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers. That's exactly my point. And blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it. There should be blood on the handle. But please focus on the handle of the sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore, this is clearly a contradiction of the facts. You're right.
Oh my! Oh my!
Objection!
The defendant must have simply confused a portion of her memories. As she mentioned, it was hazy to begin with, and we can't mull over every minor detail. We kinda have to, that's the point. Objection! But she also said, there's no question I remember it, a fact we can't ignore. In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with the memories means? Gladly! Just give me a sec to think of something. I want to say that Athena didn't stab anyone, but she said it herself that she remembers the feeling of committing the act. Big Phoenix, think! What could the contradiction with Athena's memories mean? The blood was wiped off the weapon, or the defendant used a different weapon. The Sykes said blood flowed down the handle, but the katana's handle is spotless. So, doesn't it follow that the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana? What are you up to this time? I think this is it. This time I found just the thing to end Athena's nightmare for good. The weapon that took Dr. Sykes' life was the katana, that much is for sure. So if I can show a possibility that Athena didn't use the katana... She has 2 stab... Wait, does she have 2 stab wounds? Because... there's also a hole, there's also a rip there on the jacket. If her mom was wearing the jacket at the time, and Athena did stab her with something, but something that wouldn't kill her. Maybe a small utility knife. She would get blood on her hands, but it wouldn't kill her mom. And then, later, someone else killed her with a katana. But that's, okay. It's also possible that someone... You make a good point. It's possible someone else was wearing the jacket. Because, you're right, the mom was only stabbed once. You both make great points. Someone else was wearing that jacket. Someone else got stabbed. She didn't hug her mom. She stabbed the person who killed her mom. It could help me prove her innocence. A different weapon, you say? What weapon would that be exactly? The question is now who? Right. Of course he would ask that. I can see you're floundering, Mr. Wright. Did you speak without thinking again, as always? How does he do that? But I can't back down. Not here, not now. That's right. I did. Because it's so obvious, it doesn't require any thought. What did you say? Okay, so maybe that was an exaggeration, but there has to be something. Was there some other bladed weapon in the robotics lab that day? The toolkit. Maybe there's something in one of the crime scene photos. Wait a minute, there is something! There's a high probability that that was in the lab. I don't have that particular weapon here in evidence right now, but I do have a piece of evidence just like it. Other than katana, this is another blade that may have been at the crime scene. But that's the murder weapon in the Clay Terran case. Yes, this is the knife that took Mr. Terran's life. But there must have been a knife just like this at the scene 7 years ago as well. Toolkits containing utility knives like this one are issued to Space Center employees, and a robotics lab especially would naturally have one of these around.
Objection.
But, beside the katana, no other bladed weapon was found at the site. There was in the investigation report, if you didn't know.
Objection.
Of course I knew that! Not what you told me just now. It's entirely possible. Then there's something else you already know. There was a toolkit at the scene, but it didn't contain any blades. Here's a photo of its contents. Hey, something's missing. I don't know if you notice, something's missing. And it's also out of order. You're right, I don't see any kind of bladed tool. Clearly this is just an empty spot that means absolutely nothing, not important, in the slightest. Not even a little bit. One of these things is not like the other. Anyways. Oh, it's 9:30 and I haven't... Yeah, that's a mood. Fine, but isn't there something odd about the design of those handles? Therefore, there was no other bladed weapon in the room. It was taken out. It was taken away. It just wasn't left there. You dumb motherfucker. I disagree. This toolkit contained a knife. And what proof do you have of that? Thank you for the hydrate. Thank you for the posture check. I just crossed my legs, too. How did you know? Don't tell me your eye for art is failing you, too, Mr. Edgeworth. You are the last person in the world who should be criticizing my aesthetic sense. Now, he is simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright. Biscuit text you? Biscuit's not in the room. Also, how did he get your number? How'd you get his number? When did he get a phone? Notice that the handles of each of these tools have a sort of design on them. Oh, I see that they do. But what significance does that have? It's clear that one of the tools is missing from the kit. If we rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing. Is that the theory your pitiful sense of aesthetics helped you come up with? Edgeworth, just let it go, man. Show the court, then, if you would. What pattern and design could we see if we were to rearrange the tools? Where is it? Where is it? This one.
Take that.
And what design is this supposed to represent? The Gyaxo logo, Your Honor. It's on all the Space Center documents and pamphlets. As you're aware, Gyaxo is the program that operates the Cosmos Space Center.
Look at how brightly the Gaiaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motif it's got going. Gaiaxa, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program? Oh, I think I see it now, but... Yes, with just the tool shown in this photo, the red A part of the logo is missing. And this is where the murder weapon from the Terran case comes into play. Everyone hydrate. All of you. Whenever the hydrate hits me in the face, that means you all take a drink. Of water. Or whatever you have on hand, you know what, I'm not going to judge you. If we were to place the utility knife in the open slot, it would complete the Gaiaxa logo. So it would. Then that means... Admit it, Mr. Edgeworth. My aesthetic sense is keener than yours. And while you're at it, admit that the weapon Miss Sykes used could have been this one. Ugh. Why must you always be so surprised? You know I'm good at this. Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Miss Sykes most likely did stab someone, using the utility knife. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. Therefore, the act of stabbing that Miss Sykes remembers couldn't be that of Dr. Sykes. Very well. Oh, let's suppose for a minute that Miss Sykes did use the utility knife. Tell me, how does that change anything? What do you mean? Come again? What if the katana was only being used as a decoy, concealed as the true murder weapon? What if the real weapon that took the victim's life was the utility knife? Don't be ridiculous! Or are you changing the premise of your entire argument? I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Miss Sykes could have put blood on the katana to make it look like the murder weapon, and then concealed the knife on her personage until Blackwell carried her away. That does clear up the contradiction between Miss Sykes' memories and the evidence. If, in fact, the murder weapon is a utility knife, then fate has dealt you a cruel hand. For you're just proving the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic. The prosecution is attempting to lead the court! You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright, by forcing us to forget the facts of this case. Need I remind you that there were only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder, and that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands? No. It matters not whether the murder weapon was a katana or a utility knife, as long as we know that the victim and the defendants were the only ones there. You cannot escape the fact that it was Athena Sykes who killed her own mother. Once again, Athena's mom was already dead at this point when Ponko came in and saw Athena, quote-unquote, hugging her mom. That wasn't her mom, that was the actual killer, who was wearing her jacket. And the reason we know that is because Mommy Metz's heart was still beating after the stabbing. I don't believe it. Why? Why does this keep happening? And also we have the rip in the jacket. Every time I find a contradiction, it vanishes and the suspicion keeps coming back. It's almost as if... Now you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true. And the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because that's where it belongs. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth when you pry it from my cold, dead hands? Ugh. I have evidence. Let me use my evidence, damn it. I need to steal more stuff in our Savage Worlds game so that I have evidence. Just be like, man, that's mine now. To come back later. I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. What if... Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. And I think you've done all you can do. I can do more. I can do more. I can say words. I know word good. Come on, Phoenix. Come on. You can do this. Is giving up really the only option? I know you can do it. I believe in you, Phoenix Wright. I shouldn't, but I don't have a choice. No! Snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you? Giving in to doubt. I can't look back. Forward is the only way to go because we don't go straight here. Never go straight, only go forward. No, Your Honor, it isn't over yet. Right. I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I'll always believe in her. To the very end. A defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case thoroughly. From the beginning, I can see the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with a utility knife. This must have been what Ponko witnessed as Athena's hug. Prosecutor Blackwell didn't see the knife at the scene. This means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the utility knife from the lab? Someone else. A third person was at the scene. If I trust in Athena, then I have to conclude there is a third person at the scene. But according to Ponko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only two there. So then how did this third person manage to escape Ponko's detection? By covering the victim's face. No, that's not right. What we're good with covering a lot. Ponko's face by covering their own face. Fine. Oh my goodness, that's really funny. The problem is my next thing is I'm a DM still. But I will keep that in mind. I will make a librarian barbarian. Librarian? I'm gonna make a librarian. I want to say that she has a... But here's the thing. She would have to have a hammer that's actually very deadly, but very quiet. So that she can beat people over the head with it and go, shh. But wait a minute, Ponko has a heartbeat detection. Even if they covered their own face, Ponko would have still detected. But she wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. Wait, that's it! And they pose as Meta Sykes. As you can go, shh. I call it the noise remover. Oh no! Fuck, I'm stupid. The silent killer. I'm an idiot. There was a better pun right there. If the culprit poses the victim, that would explain why Ponko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Ponko's basic recognition features, Barbarian Rogue. The quiet please, that's pretty good. The shh, the silent killer, the quiet please, Barbarian Rogue, it all fits. The culprit used this in order to pose as the victim. The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. But that still leaves the heartbeat. The real Dog Sykes was already dead at that time? Then who did Athena stab? Athena stabbed the real culprit, so we need to find whoever had a stab wound 7 years ago. That's it! The person Athena stabbed wasn't Dr. Sykes. It was the person who murdered her and then pretended to be her. The real culprit. Dewey Decimal, the systematic killer. I'm writing this down. Copyright, trademark, do not steal. Librarian, Barbarian, Rogue. Whitehammer, the silent killer. Quiet, please. Okay, cool. That's written down. I have that now. The late return. Oh, that's also good. Write that down. The late return. Dope. Hey, Kane and Sam aren't here, right? No? Good. No one tell them that I'm thinking about this. They might meet this character. And Mod K. Don't let any of them know about any of this. If they're watching this VOD in the future, no, you're not. And now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let us bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to hostage negotiations. You are absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby objection! I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second, because I realized something so shocking I had to take a break to digest it. But now I know for a fact that Miss Sykes is innocent. But Ponko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime. Yes, Ponko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother. What are you saying, Mr. Wright? The answer is simple. The person Miss Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes. What?
Objection!
Did you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statement, there was no third person there. Did you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time? Objection! After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Don't you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence? Huh, you make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts. Ponko's strange malfunction. Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sickbay? Mr. Terran? But that's Apollo you're talking to. Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost. Hold on, let's roll for intimidation stealth. Whatever. Natural fucking 20 on my intimidation stealth. Whatever that means. Fucking the dice gods are with me in this moment. Fucking, you could not ask for a better fucking thing to happen. That's amazing. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Mwah, chef's kiss. Ending stream now, never touching anything ever again. I'm walking off into the sunset, I'm the best. That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. All because Klonko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to that eye patch. Ace roll again? Ace roll again. Okay, only a 3. See, we cursed it. Cursed it is the problem. How's that? Is that one better? Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask can nullify the robot's facial recognition. And then, all the person would have to do is wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose as her. Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do? Have you forgotten that the robot also had a heartbeat detection system? If there was a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because, by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating. What? So does that mean? Yes, Your Honor. The person Miss Sykes stabbed. This third person who was posing as Dr. Sykes is her mother's real killer. But that's... I'm... Impossible! Impossible? A mask? The person I stabbed was wearing a mask. Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes, did you say something? A mask. Yes. I remember a... Athena! What is it? One of the Cyclops is breaking. That is the big question of who the fuck is it? I remember a man with a mask. How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head. Miss Sykes, are you alright? No! Boom, roasted. Black Cyclops. They're breaking. Well, one of them is. No, 2 of them. 3 of them? 4? Come on, you can do it. Let's go! I was expecting that to take longer. I never got a chance to use the autopsy report that she died instantly. It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened the day my mother was murdered. Story time! Everyone sit down, get your PJs, get your popcorn. They're gone! The Black Cyclops are finally gone! You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's alright, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day. I was drawing a picture. When I was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then... It's alright. I'm right here. You're safe. Athena. She was on the floor, by the workbench, with the katana sticking out of her. There was a handkerchief over her face, but I knew it was her by her clothes, and there was a man there. Man?
Hold it!
Quiet, Your Honor! Go on, Athena. Tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was there, and... He dodged at first, so I only got his clothes, but I tried again. And this time you got him, didn't you? I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Then he kicked me and I passed out. When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her, I thought. So I asked Ponko to move her to the operating table. Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her. So that's why she said that. Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant has just given us critical new testimony. A man was there before Miss Sykes arrived. A man who covered the victim's face and put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit. Miss Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was? No, I'm afraid I don't. A few months ago, Miss Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything else about that? Yes, the mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. I think it was the one hanging on the wall of the lab.
Oh, this mask hanging here on the wall.
It was kind of spooky, that mask. My mom used to tell me that a no mask even has the power to turn an ordinary human being into a phantom. The phantom of 7 years past. It all comes back around. It's all full circle. The circle of stupidity is complete. A phantom?
It would seem that a new suspect has emerged, and that means that all suspicion against Miss Sykes has...
Or a black will? You see, this is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict. Miss Blackwell, this is not good. A new suspect. Where's the proof this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head? Ugh, she's right. We don't have any heart, I do. I mean, we have a little bit.
Objection!
Athena? Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now, because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother. Athena, I'm so glad for you. More and more memories are coming back now. So I'd like to say one thing, if I could. Ponko came to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. to recharge. I went to the robotics lab. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. Then Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I didn't know anything. I see where you're going with this. If Mommy Metis was really the killer in disguise. Right, then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m. Do I have anything here in the evidence?
Hold. Hold. Holding. The lab did not have... before 2 p.m. Hold on. Hold on. I'm looking through my evidence. Evidence that can help me find this person who came to the lab before 2 p.m. Shit, hold on. Hold on. I'm thinking. Right, wait, the reporter. Who was the reporter? That's what we have, right?
Take that!
Please be correct. Nope, it was wrong. Okay, hold on. Nope, I can do this. I know, I'm sorry, Judge. That was the best I had. I was thinking about the reporter! Lemon juice and paper cut, that's really funny. Could an image of the culprit possibly have been captured in you? An image of the culprit. Oh, wait, duh. The security footage.
Take that!
This is Prosecutor Blackwell leaving the scene after the incident at around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does this video show anyone else passing by there before then? I don't see anything in the investigation report. It looks like they didn't check. Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene. Very well then, let's take a look. There, please stop it right there. Their hand was injured, and they have the thing fucked up, but we can't see their face. Damn it!
It's just like you said. There is a man leaving the scene of the crime with a wound in his hand and a tear in his jacket.
Miss Sykes, do you remember this person? That's him. I'm sure of it. He's wearing my mother's jacket. I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket. A jacket on display. That was Dr. Sykes. Can you see it? There's the slash I made with a utility knife that day. And I'm sure that knife is under that jacket somewhere.
So then, everything Miss Sykes said...
Exactly. It proves that Miss Sykes' memory was correct. Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hit her face with a handkerchief. Then he disguised himself with Dr. Sykes' jacket and mask that were there in the lab. The culprit probably knew beforehand that Ponko charged up at 2 p.m. every day. So he waited for Ponko to come to the lab for her regular recharge. By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Ponko into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was alive up to that point in time. All to disguise the real time of death! What now?
It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that is just not possible.
What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right there in this video.
And that right there is precisely the problem. The ID tag on the jacket at the scene confirms beyond doubt that it belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab truly was wearing the victim's jacket, then how could it possibly have wound up back at the crime scene?
You swap out the ID tag. You just take the damn thing off. You take the tag off and you swap them around.
What's going on? That doesn't make sense. Edward's right. If the culprit was wearing the jacket, how did it get back to the lab?
Oh, someone brought it back. Never mind. They're saying it was the same jacket regardless. Fuck me then.
The killer used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape.
But in order to conceal that fact, he had to get the jacket back to the crime scene. So the culprit simply returned to the robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved.
Objection.
Except that it would have been impossible. The only people who came to the robotics lab after the killer were Prosecutor Blackwell and the people who reported the body, and they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. So, when do you propose this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket? A puzzling question indeed. When did the culprit have the chance to bring the jacket back? The only time the culprit could have returned the jacket was when the body was found. Mr. Wright, do you realize the implication of that argument? I do. Most people, when they come across a murder, focus their attention on the body. The culprit could have taken advantage of that split second to plant the jacket. In other words, the true culprit of this case, the man known as the Phantom, was one of the first people to discover the body. I would never have thought of that. I would never have thought of that. I would never have thought of that. Sometimes you have to say things 3 times so it sounds good. Order in the court. What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Edgeworth? The body was discovered and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probe's capsule in preparation for the Hat 1 launch. Here are our suspects. Are you ready? One of those people had a special bag to transport the capsule in. Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag? Correct. I suppose that if the jacket was in that bag, it could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anyone noticing. I'll see to it that you get the report on those 3 people. God damn it. You will? We should also check the facial recognition database for that robot. If this person felt the need to hide his face with the theater mask, it might mean that his facial data was once registered. Prosecutor Edgeworth, does this mean? I have to admit, I believe Miss Sykes' memories to be credible. You win, right? Not that this was ever an official trial anyway. I've beaten you plenty of times. Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you really actually conceding? Let's fucking go. Is it true, boss? Does this mean I can't believe it. It's over. I won. And we didn't actually have to point out who the actual true criminal was for once. Huh. What a miracle. I proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell are innocent. Your Honor, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial? That's right. I'm the one who's supposed to say I see no need to further prolong. Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence. What say you, Aura Blackwell? The little princess who was truly beloved by Mantis, and who repaid that love with death. All these years, hating Athena was the only thing that's kept me going. Well, what do I do now? Can anyone tell me? How am I supposed to go on? Therapy. You go on with therapy. And also admitting that you were wrong. Miss Blackwell. How unlike you, Aura. Mantis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as her partner. Isn't that— Shut up, Simon. You would know exactly how I felt about her. Gay! Her respect as a coworker wasn't all that I wanted.
Then what did you want from her? I say, as an old man who has no idea what a gay relationship actually that's not true. I myself had quite a fling back in the day. He was a strapping young defense lawyer.
Did you really just go there, Your Honor? Aura, there is something I've wanted to say, if you will lend me an ear.
And that's as confirmed gay as we're ever going to get in this series. Unless they make a new game eventually, maybe then. And only maybe, because I don't trust Capcom.
If you will, I have in my possession a lead on who Mantis' murderer is.
You do?
Right, Dono. You asked me about the identity of the Phantom of 7 years past.
That's right. The Phantom. The person Blackwell has been looking for, even from behind bars.
7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage the Hat 1 rocket. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew naught about him, his background, appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then one day, a miracle occurred, and I attained a lead on him.
Oh, how exciting! What was the lead?
A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yet I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions. So I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology. And that scientist was Dr. Sykes. Yes, a spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to Had 1, Dr. Sykes' results in the recording were surely among his targets. But his search of the Space Center bore no fruit, so he must have started to panic.
He couldn't find them, but where could they have been?
Who is to say?
Wow, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years. Sir, question? Where were you hiding that when you were put into prison? Or are you just so intimidating you didn't have them search you? You are still wearing the same outfit. Or did you somehow... Yeah, no, I don't want to think about it.
How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner is especially talented in that sort.
You gave them to the hawk. Where's Taka? Someone bring me the bird. Let's fucking go! Taka! My boy!
I worked to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity, you bloody butcher, became my taunt.
And what about the results Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information? Hitting them in his katana would have been cool.
Here, you can see for yourself. But take good care of it. It's all I have left of my mentor.
I will. I'd better hold on to this real tight. Rarely fluctuate, and he doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. I don't think we know anyone like that.
Psychological profile. Classified. Emotional output of this voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Subject deemed to have unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. No emotional fluctuation, huh? A spy who experiences no emotions, not sadness nor anger, and naturally no fear. He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see? This creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion. The Phantom, indeed. A fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world. Well then. It seems a faint image of this man has started to take shape. This doesn't seem to describe anyone we know, though.
Because... Emotional. Well, let's look at them in. As far as we know, emotional? Very emotional. Emotional. And it was a man. I don't think we've actually met the murderer. I don't think we've ever met the Phantom.
Based on what we have learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation.
He's been waiting for this moment. The judge. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of just judging cases. Let's go make one. This will be fun.
This is not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand on my verdicts and bring these proceedings to an end.
Whatever. Do whatever you want.
You'll hear no objections from me.
Yes, please, Your Honor. It's over. It's finally over.
Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, could you please take the stand? As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict handed down 7 years ago is hereby overruled. Overturned, whatever. And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Sykes. I'm about to sneeze.
Excuse me. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything. Athena, you're more than welcome.
If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict.
Who now? Where's Apollo? I bet it was Apollo. Where's Apollo at? You! Hi, Apollo. Is it your turn? What's up, buddy? Where the fuck have you been? What do you want? Apollo! What is the meaning of this? Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago and saved Prosecutor Blackwell. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet. Please don't tell me Clay Tarrant was the real murderer 7 years ago. Why, Apollo? Why would you do this to us? Alright, cool. Clay Tarrant is the spy. He's the murderer. Fuck. But then why... And then did Apollo kill his own best friend? Did Apollo kill Clay? What the fuck? Is that where he got his eye injured? To be continued. Now then, quick note. Normally we go about 3 hours for streams, and I would love to keep going. However, it is 9 o'clock at night. I would like to get some ice cream. And I'm kind of tired because I've been talking a lot the past 7 hours. So, we're going to call it there, y'all. A little bit shorter. We'll figure stuff out. So that Saturdays... Also, without going too deep into it, there's some weird work stuff going on. Who knows? Maybe I'll stream an extra day during the week so I don't have to worry about Saturdays. I don't know. I'll figure it out as we go along. Life is complicated. Isn't that fun? Dude, sorry. I don't want to get into it. Let's not get into it. We're going to end it here. We're not going to raid anyone tonight. I'm just going to say thank you all so much for joining me. This shit's getting fucking wild, yo. I think Clay Tarrant was the spy who done killed Metis Sykes 7 years ago and was stabbed in the hand. I think Apollo Justice very well might have been Clay Tarrant. He killed his own best friend. Fucking, that's insane. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's too simple? I don't know. I think Clay did it. He's the only person we haven't met. Maybe he doesn't have emotional fluctuation in his voice. I don't know. Tomorrow will very likely be, we're going to do more Digimon Survive, and we're very likely going to finish the Harmony route. We're on part 12, so let's finish up Harmony. There are so many dead kids in that game. There are so many dead kids. Now, the good news is we don't see them covered in blood like we did here with Athena. But we do see the kids die. But that's a problem for later. I'll see you all tomorrow. Maybe, possibly. But if not, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night, your day, whatever time it is for you. I don't know. Time zone. And we're going to call it there. Goodbye, everyone. I love you. Thank you for joining me for this late night, very sudden stream. Hopefully it won't be too chaotic from now on. We'll see. Bye!